Hey everybody, how's it going today? Here for just kind of another weekly recap type video. A lot of, not too much crazy actually happened this past week in the old wonderful world of sports cards, but a couple things I wanted to touch on, and just a couple um, intriguing things I've stumbled across. So I have signed up for Sports Card Investors Market Movers tools. I will probably end up doing a full video review on this product, I guess, at some point in time. But today's not that day. We're just going to kind of, based off some stuff I saw, we're going to talk about some stuff regarding some individual cards and players. Um, they just added a My Collections tool. I'm still playing with it, but it's pretty intriguing based off what I have seen so far. Maybe we'll take a quick sneak peek at that. And then I also have a giveaway winner from my Optic Mega Box to announce, and we'll do that at the end of the video. We'll draw the random for that. So let's go ahead and hop into this here. I don't mind the pile on the desk. I was going through stuff for grading, and this is why you can't find card savers anywhere, because everyone is sending stuff in for grading. This is my pile. This will not all go in at once. I need to resort through this and pick out exactly what I want to send off. So let's go ahead and transition off this and shrink that down and go over to the main PC screen. So the very first thing that happened this week, we're in the Market Movers tool right now, is good old Cam Newton signed with the Patriots. And shockingly enough, his stuff went crazy. So this Topps 2011 PSA 10 is kind of his one of his base rookie cards. Right before the news, it was going for about $43, and you can see on the graph, shot up to $230 to a high of 270, and is now leveled off in the high 180s. So if you were quick on the trigger on the old eBay, the day that Schefter tweet came across, you guys could have made a really quick profit. I think this is a very unique situation of him going to the Patriots, and not a testament to just overreacting to the news. It was a twofold effect. Cam Newton's a big name, and he went to a big name. Um, so, but yeah, if you scroll down here on the old Market Movers tool, it gives you the weekly recap on it. 26 of them were sold. I went 14 days back just to kind of get a little bit of a bigger sample size. The low was $43, just under $43. The high was $375. The ending average was $178. For a 282% change in value in 7 days, less than 7 days, really. So um, the sports card market is wild. I don't talk football very often, but this one was just funny to me. On the flip side of that, we have good old Jared Stidham. Now, I don't have charting for his PSA 10, but this is just his base prism, and you could see the same time period right before it was announced they were going for $32 a piece, and now we are down to $20 a piece. And you can see the charting down here. Not as big of a change. 22%, I guess, is the lower value card. I think his PSA 10s took a harder hit. But there may be once again, not a big football guy, but quarterbacks drive the football market. If this gets low enough, there could be a buying opportunity here because Cam Newton is very injury prone. So if these get cheap enough, I would potentially look at picking up some to stash for the eventuality that Cam gets hurt and Stidham has to step in. And then who the hell knows what will happen. Hot quarterback, the market goes wild. Let me remember the order that I decided to do these. Okay. So I've mentioned Cat a few times before on some videos. So this is going back 14 days. So this is the chart. This top line here is his Prism base PSA 10, and this bottom line is just his base card. So you can see the lines here don't look like very much, but when I go down to the data itself, you'll see. So his His PSA 10 started at 180 and is now up to 264. So let's scroll down here to this, to the card stats. So over a 14-day period, his PSA 10 has gone up $85, up almost 50%, and his raw has gone from 25 on the starting, or on the, I'm sorry, 32. We'll use the starting averages. 32 on the starting averages, up to 56 for 75% change. Now, what I don't understand is why. He is not in the playoffs. They're not in the bubble. So nothing has happened to affect his value per se. The Timberwolves haven't made any dramatic trades. Unless this is just like a rising tide lifts all boats situation, like the market's so insane right now, and everyone's buying up star, base, and PSA 10 prisms cards of people, and they're just like, hey, everyone forgot about Cat. So I would expect a little bit of that, but it just seems like these are shooting up astronomically compared to everybody else. And maybe it's just because his had a lot of room to grow. Because I thought he was undervalued, and I still think he is in some of his non-Prism cards. I feel like his Prism cards are getting to the point where they're appropriately priced now. There's only 1,000. The nice thing about this Market Movers tools, it does give you the pop report right there. So there's only a little over 1,000 PSA 10s. That's not a lot. But yeah, I've been watching Cat's prices a lot lately. So I don't know what to make of this. The raw outpacing the PSA 10 on this one. So that was just, like, I know I've talked about Cat a lot on the channel, so that I just found that interesting that the charting and stuff backs up essentially what my gut has been telling me regarding his prices. Let's go over to the next player. I want to talk about Luka. This is kind of like the news of the week thing. His PSA 10s are now over $800. So the chart up here, let me walk you through what we got. The top line is his PSA 10 base prism. The yellow line is his BGS 9.5, and the bottom line is his PSA 9. And once again, this is actually only a week's worth of data that I went back on this one. 7 days. Yep. 7 days. So we scroll down here, and we could see that good old Luka PSA 10, $835 a pop, is wild. I predict that, assuming everything goes smooth, I think this card hits close to 1,000 by the time the NBA season resumes in 25 days or whatever it is. If they win a round and he goes crazy, which I don't know who they're going to be matched up with yet. As of right now, they are in the 7th seed. That would be devastating because that would mean they would have to play the Clippers. If they can move up a spot, then it's a whole different ballgame. They could potentially get out of the first round. If they get out of the first round and he has a good series, I could easily see this going even high, like quite a bit higher, like 12, 13, 14. I wouldn't even be surprised if we got to 1,500 if he played well. Maybe not 1,500, but I could see it getting up there. Playoff bump is real. If you guys have not been in the hobby during the playoffs last year, playoff pricing is a roller coaster, and I expect it to be even more extreme this season. Just based off of all the new blood in and people just looking for anything. I think the sports card market during the NBA playoffs could almost turn into like day trading stocks. I think you're going to see wild fluctuations on prices on stuff, especially if someone like Luka goes off. I could see the prices spiking quickly. So everything's up on him, obviously. The percentages changes are fairly close to each other. But yeah, to me, the best bang for the buck right now, because obviously not everyone has $835 laying around to throw at PSA 10 Lukas, is still the PSA 9s. locks you into the card without any question on the condition. You know what you're getting. I would much rather buy, from an investment standpoint, PSA 9s than raw. Um, Raw is so risky anymore, especially off eBay. If you can't hold the card in your hand, it's a shoot show out there, to use PG-13 language. Uh, so I don't mind buying PSA 9s. I have plenty of PSA 9s in my collection. The 10s are awesome, but um, when the 10s are $1,000 a piece, that prices a lot of people out of the market. Um, for a while, 9.5s were lagging behind, and they still are a little bit. I also like the entry point on a 9.5. 9.5s just seem to always be classically undervalued compared to a PSA 10. So that's Luka. Next one's SGA. This one's interesting. SGA prices have been going crazy the last little bit. This I went back 7 days as well. The interesting thing here is when you scroll down to this, I like this. The charting data is cool and all, but I really like this little layout that they put down at the bottom of this tool. The PSA 10 in the last 7 days is up 20%. The PSA 9 is only up 3%. And you see, I've talked about this before, you see this a lot. The 9 lags behind the 10. So the 10 leads the charge, and the 9 follows suit. But a lot of times there's a window where the 9 hasn't caught up yet, and we might be in one of those windows right now. Let me go back 14 days on this and rerun the search. Yeah, same thing. So over a 14-day period, the PSA 10 had a starting average of 200, went up to 272 for a $78 change, 40%. The PSA 9 has basically stayed the same over a 14-day period. Let me go back 30. Yeah, you can see here this graph goes up much more aggressively than the 9. The 9 has stayed fairly flat. It has gone up, but notice the 10 has gone up 62% in the last 30 days. The 9 has gone up 30% in the last 30 days. And there's been more of them sold. So this could be a potential buying opportunity if you guys are in the SGA markets. And this right here is kind of the point of market movers. The whole tool set for paying for this is to find stuff like this quickly and easily. I mean, you guys saw that I switched, a couple different things around. Now, I will say, and once again, I don't want to do a full review on market movers right now, but these card chartings like this, not every card is in the database. I believe there's over 6,000 cards in the database. Like, for example, if I go over here, I really wanted to look at the raw. Raw is not an option for me to choose from. It's only on the left-hand side here. It's only PSA 10 and PSA 9 for his base. I don't know if that's the same for Optic. So we can also come over here and hit Optic, choose set base, PSA 10, PSA 9. And there are not a lot of Optic. Okay, Optic PSA 9 there is not in the database, but 10 is. And same thing, Optic PSA 10, it appears to be lagging behind. Now, there's a lot less data on that because look at the pop count. 65 on a PSA 10 Optic, which is just about normal. Their pop counts on Optic are way lower than Prism. The print run on Optic is always way smaller. But once again, there's another buying opportunity for if you're looking to get into SGA. These two cards seem to be lagging behind the PSA 10, which is completely normal. But if he has a good first round of the playoffs, and as SGA's momentum keeps going leading up to the playoffs, I could see that continuing to build. So yeah, just an interesting one there. Two other ones. Just once again, this is kind of showing off market movers and a couple different cards I wanted to talk about. Ja Morant base Prism. I went back. This current chart is going back 14 days. And this one's intriguing because you don't usually see this. The Percentage change is higher on the 9.5 than the PSA 10. The 9.5 is up almost 35%, and the PSA 10 has barely moved. It's an 8% change. And I like Ja for the playoffs because if they should make it in, worst case scenario, he's going to get a 2-game playoff against probably the Pelicans or the Trailblazers to showcase himself. And once again, that could do a lot for his value. This PSA 10 looks like a potential buying opportunity if you're in the markets compared to the BGS 9.5. So, just some interesting data on Ja. And it looks like the BGS 9.5 has actually just recently shot up, and the PSA 10 has slightly dipped down. But it's mostly the BGS 9.5 gaining momentum lately for whatever reason. And let's go over to the last one, good old Zion. If you're not aware, a photo was posted of him basically looking like Bane from Batman, with him being jacked as all hell. This chart, once again, going back 14 days. The interesting thing here is he had kind of leveled out for a while. The PSA 10 was, just under 600, 600, a little over, a little under. And now it's shot up to 650 the last week or so. I don't know how much it had to do with that photo or the fact that the NBA is getting closer to return, but you could see over the last 14 days, the PSA 10 is up 20%, while the BGS 9.5 has not budged. So if you're looking to get some Zion Prism, you may want to target the BGS 9.5 because it's lagging a little bit behind in regards to the price swing that's currently going on. So there could be a little bit more room to grow there. So, yeah, that's the Market Movers tool and just some, interesting things I saw on it for this week and some cards I wanted to talk about. Let me show you the My Collection tool really quickly. And this was just added, so I'm not super familiar with it yet. So if I go to this My Collection things, I open up the new tab. So essentially what you could do is if the card's in the database, you can add it in here, and you put the price that you paid for it. Now that can be a little bit tricky. Luckily, most of the stuff I've purchased, I have kept track manually in a spreadsheet. I didn't have exact days, but I bought a lot of it off eBay, so I just went through my eBay purchase history on Saturday morning and just kind of uploaded everything. Now, not all my cards are in here because not all of them are in the database yet. You cannot free add whatever you want. It has to be in their card database. You can look up any card you want in here, but to add it to the collection tool as of right now, this is in beta, you have to add it in from a card already established in the database. So most of the big stuff is on here. So yeah, you can see if I have multiples. If not, it'll give the date purchased up here, and then it gives you a handy little charting tools of your last 7-day change, last 30, last 90, and then on the far right, it gives you this profit and loss based off of what you paid for the card, and then you can kind of scroll down and see what's going on with it. A lot of green for me, which I guess is a good thing, but a lot of my stuff dates back to last year or earlier this season. But yeah, I really like the potential of this. You can also come over here and click, and it'll automatically pull the graph up for that card. Like that was a Luka Optic PSA 10, and there it is. Since I think this is defaults to the last 90 days, and then you can change it to whatever you want. But yeah, it gives you a total what your price paid for the cards in your collection were, total number of cards, what the current collection value is, and then your total profit loss on the right there. So just a really cool tool potentially. Still trying to figure out how to add like pack pulled stuff in and all that. I haven't figured out a good idea for that yet, and they may end up adding something in for it. But I'm going to do a full deep dive on this for you guys at a later point, but I want to get more comfortable with it first. But just a little sneak peek of what's going on with market movers. So, That's pretty much all I had for you guys today. Let me pop over and let's do the giveaway really quick. If you don't remember, the giveaway was on the Optic Mega Box, and it was one of these three here. So if you weren't in the giveaway on that one, we'll get you. See if we could get you in the giveaway on whatever the next one that I do is. So go ahead and give me a like, comment, and subscribe down below to help out with the old YouTube shenanigans. We just crossed 100 subscribers. And the channel's just over a little month and a half old, so I'm pretty pleased with that. So thanks, guys. But yeah, let's do the random for this video. So I got the video pulled up here. We'll copy, go over to the old random YouTube comment picker. We had 12 uniques. And pick us a winner. Brandon Burks says, nice Eric Paschal. So, Brandon, if that is you, go ahead and leave me a comment on this video, and I will reply back to it with the email address for you to get in contact with me for this giveaway, and we will get this shipped off to you. So, if you guys have any questions about what you saw in the video, or just market movers in general, or something specifically you would like to see, let me know, and we can get into it in a future video. Tomorrow, we will have a PSA mail day video according to UPS tracking. It is the PSA results from my 3 Zion pulls from Mosaic. So I'm excited to get those back, and we will show those grades off to you guys. So we will see you guys on that one. That'll probably be up most likely tomorrow night. So we will catch you guys later. Peace.